All right, Black and White Network supporters, we got major news in here, and well, this probably just handed Trump the White House. I felt like he was going to win anyway, but when you split off this many Democratic votes, and right now, and we'll take a look overall, but right now, Robert Kennedy Jr. is polling at about 15% of the total Democratic vote against Biden. It's amazing that Biden would possibly be that high, but it's also pretty substantial for a guy that's not already in the White House to be running in the same party against the guy that's in the White House and him be getting or garnering this kind of split off. This is a worst nightmare scenario for the Democratic Party. It truly is, because RFK Jr. is going to get some independent vote, but he's going to get a big chunk of the Democratic vote, and it may have just sunk Biden's ship. And, you know, I can't help but wonder whether or not RFK Jr. knows exactly what he's doing. Like, he realizes, look, Republicans need the White House back, plain and simple. It's no secret that a lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans do align and have shared views with RFK Jr. A lot of people will try to deny that, but it's just a fact. When you got things like the COVID issue and a lot of different things, his issues with the mainstream media, his issues with big government, his issues with censorship. I don't know if you've noticed, but you can listen to and I've listened to several of RFK's lengthy kind of interviews, and I'm like, shit, he sounds more Republican than all but about 4 candidates right now. Like, in my opinion, he sounds more Republican than Nikki Haley, certainly than Chris Christie, than Mike Pence, than some of these other lower, DeSantis probably, yeah. Trump definitely, and Tim Scott probably, yeah, maybe, right in there, but you get my point. You know where I'm going with this anyway. And this is bad news, but I had a strange feeling this is where this was going, and this is bad news for Joe Biden. Really good news for Donald Trump. Very good news for Donald Trump. The 2024 presidential candidate, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., this is Mediaite, in case you can't tell, plans to announce he will run as an independent on October 9 in Pennsylvania, Mediaite has learned. Kennedy's campaign machine is now planning attack ads. Attack ads against the Democratic National Committee. Now, guys, in case you don't remember, Bernie Sanders, back in, I believe, 2016, had a very large groundswell of movement in the Democratic Party, but they wanted Hillary Clinton. And the DNC screwed Bernie to tears. Screwed him to tears. Now, Bernie's a socialist, but regardless, he's where all the fire was at the time for the Democratic Party, as far as getting the base churned up. And I knew a lady, and she had worked on one of Hillary Clinton, when she lived in Iowa, she worked on one of Hillary Clinton's campaigns up there, and she said, I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. She's like, Bernie's got my vote, not Hillary. He's won me over. And there was a lot of that, but the DNC thought Hillary, in all their wiseness, could beat anybody that went up there. Guess what? The DNC and Hillary Clinton got boat raced by President Donald Trump. And it just so happens the DNC has decided to box out Kennedy on this. Kennedy's campaign machine is now planning attack ads against Democratic National Committee in order to, quote, pave the way for his announcement in Philadelphia about running as an independent. According to a text received by Mediaite, quote, Bobby feels that the DNC is changing the rules to exclude his candidacy, so an independent run is the only way to go. That is a Kennedy campaign insider. Kennedy, a notorious, and guys, this is a left-leaning publication I'm reading this from, so I'm just putting that out there. Kennedy, a notorious anti-vax conspiracy theorist, here we go, challenging incumbent President Joe Biden for the Democratic nomination, has been flirting with a third-party run in recent weeks. The New York Times reported last week that he met with the chair of the Libertarian Party, raising the prospect of a departure from the party that decades ago became synonymous with his family's name. Well, his family would probably be Republican now. Just saying. I mean, it's a totally different scenario. This Democratic Party is full of lunatics, starting with Joe Biden. Kennedy remains far behind Biden in the polls, yet, while the Times reported Democrats worried that a third-party run by Mr. Kennedy would draw votes away from Mr. Biden and help elect former President Donald J. Trump, it's unclear whether such a run would hurt the current president more than the Republican nominee. Indeed, polls show Republicans have a far more favorable view of Kennedy than Democrats. As the National Review's Jim Garrity pointed out in July, when a survey asked the New Hampshire Democrats to describe Kennedy in one word, the top responses were crazy, dangerous, insane, conspiracy, and unknown. Conservative media has been far more supportive of Kennedy's campaign as well. Greg Gutfeld proposed that the political scion run as a third party in July. I think he should run as a third-party candidate because I do think he should and would win, is because his party's radical elements, what we call woke, have embraced the fascist clampdown on language. And we saw Robert Kennedy get hauled up to the Hill, and Democrats were the one, I watched that hearing he was at, and the Democrats were the ones that was attacking RFK Jr. It was amazing. They were the ones that were going after him. Now, here's polls right here. And this is 538.com that I have up here. Kennedy at 15.1 as of 2 days ago. Okay, that's how much the Democratic percentage he was getting. Now, this is Real Clear Politics. And who knows how real clear it is, but you get my point. And there you have his numbers right here. Rasmussen's got him as high as 25% of the Democratic vote. Yahoo News, not unsurprisingly, down at 7%. Regardless, and overall, they got him at 14.9. But the point is, it certainly seems like he would split the vote away from the Democratic Party. And I do think he'll get some Republican votes. I do. You know, I do think he would get some Republican votes. He might get some of whoever it is that's still supporting DeSantis at this point, still supporting Ronald McDonald at this point. Then, yeah, he might get some of their votes and pull them in. But Trump's fixing to run away with this. And it kind of makes you feel like, how many states can Mr. How many different votes can he pull? But how many states can President Trump actually win now? There's no way he can't. We know he's not going to get Oregon. We know he's not going to get California. But is everybody else officially in play with this happening? If RFK Jr. runs as an independent, President Trump is in line. Could he win 48 states? 46 states? Guys, we may see some Reagan-like numbers here by the time this is said and done. And Biden and the Democratic Party right now, they have to be up at the White House, and there's got to be sirens going off. Is this where we get the big reveal? Does the timeline get all moved up to where the Democrats are like, okay, Joe, you can't run. It's got to be Gavin Newsom, the great white hype. Is this where they call the ultra-lefty out of the bullpen, the socialist, their great white hype, Gavin Newsom? Is this where they call him out of the bullpen? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.